Cherie Burton, and I'm going to share some teaching tips with you and help you to become more confident as a presenter and drive more people to your classes. So first of all, doTERRA is an education-based business. It's a relationship-based business and it's an education-based business. So when someone comes to me and they say, my business is really struggling, I'm just not getting the volume that I want, I'm not hitting the rank I want to, the first thing I ask them is, how many classes are on your schedule? How many classes are on your calendar? And if they can't tell me that there's more than 2, they're really not doing the business, because the business is driven by events. Unless people are coming to be educated by you, you really aren't able to enroll them. They have to understand the power of these essential oils and the power of these products. And so as you fill your calendar with those events, I'm going to talk about a few of them that are some ideas for you. As you do so, you drive people into your space and you actually educate them and get them excited about it. Now, you don't just have to do traditional teaching. Don't lock yourself into just thinking you have to have a classroom and people have to show up and fill that classroom. Because we're kind of wanting to meet people where they are at, and we want you to use your personality and the way that you feel the most flow with presenting. So let's say that you have someone you're really, really interested in, you think they'd be awesome, you think they'd be a great person to connect to the products. Well, if they can't come to one of your classes, one of your scheduled classes, meet them where they are at. Be on the go with them. Go to the park with them, have a luncheon with them, or go to a barbecue. So there's many, many places that you can present instead of just sitting down and have something really traditional. And I love that you can also do one-on-ones. That's one of my favorite ways to get people into my space that I feel like I want to make a personal connection with. So I'll either invite them to lunch and I'll bring a few samples with me, break out a handout or a little brochure of the Healthy Made Simple or the Natural Solutions brochure, and I'll just talk them through it. I love doing it that way. Make sure that you're not going more than 1 hour with your one-on-ones and you're respecting their time and yours. Also, even if you're doing a traditional class, book your class for 2 hours. Tell people that it's going from 7 to 8:30 or 7 to 9, and make sure that your actual presenting is less than 1 hour. The reason I say that is you're going to want to create some time at the end for people to enroll. The whole reason that you're having this class is not for them to come and learn learn this awesome information and not act on it. You need to be able to give them time to kind of mingle, ask questions at the end, and you want to be able to obviously enroll them. Yeah, so you want them to take action on coming to attend your class. Now, you're also going to want to kind of have this mindset that you're going to master 2 classes. The first class that you're going to master is just the general natural solutions class, the Essential Oils 101, if you will. And when I say master, I don't mean necessarily like memorize it. It's just it flows from you. You have a basic understanding of the oils that are in the basic kit. And also, you want to make sure that you're creating more of an excitement, if you will, for more education. So when they come to your basic class, you're kind of whetting their appetite, and you're kind of saying, hey, I love this, but just so you know, I specialize and I'm interested in my field or my niche and my expertise is XYZ. For me, it's natural mood management. I love taking people to a natural course for emotional wellness. That's really close to me, and it's close to my background and my family history. So I will plant that or insert that into my presentations, whether I'm doing a one-on-one or whether I'm doing an actual class. Let me show you. So this is actually something that I collaborated on with some other doTERRA leaders called Essential Emotions. And I keep this with me on my person at every event, every one-on-one, even sometimes in my purse if I'm on the go and I'm just going to be casually talking with someone about the oils. I want to drive them to my signature presentation, drive them to where the heart of my message is. And so I will have this even sitting there at any of my classes for people to peruse. You do not have to have a signature presentation. You'll find that as you advance in ranks, you want to maybe expand your education and your teaching models just a bit. Once I hit the level of diamond, I was ready for more. I was ready to teach more. And I think that, again, mastering that general class is your best bet, and then moving to your own signature presentation is a great option. I also love to have this on hand because, again, this is so near and dear to what I love to teach. Even if you haven't niched into emotion, it doesn't matter what class you're teaching. If you're teaching a basic class, people just glom onto this. They love that there's help for their emotional well-being. So you could even just have this as a conversation piece. You don't need to go into it, but I actually like to hold it up. And it's nice to put into a handbag. Even if you're doing a luncheon or you're going to the park, you can break this out and go, we have a whole system for addressing emotion. It's for a whole other thing that we can go into at a later date. So having mastered your own kind of presentation and what you get excited about teaching and the heart and soul of your message and what drives you in this whole umbrella of wellness, you want to lead people to that excitement and lead people to the heart and signature style of what you love. And it doesn't matter what your uplines are doing, and it doesn't matter what your downlines are even interested in terms of what they're feeling the need to teach and learn. It's what is important to you. It's your background and your experience. So meet people where they're at. Do a one-on-one. Have virtual presentations. If you're not super techie, it's okay. Maybe just take like an afternoon and kind of climb into Zoom. You can do a Zoom virtual presentation and record it. If you are going to do recorded presentations and webinars and virtual things like that in class form, Facebook or what have you, make sure that you actually put a deadline to your attendees. So you're going to find a lot of great ideas about teaching, tips for reaching people and using your style and personality and the information age to get your message out there. The nice thing about the age we live in is you can have a global voice. And I love that. I love that this is universal appeal. Everybody needs oils. Everybody needs to be well. So also you want to make sure that you have some kind of reference book with you. So if somebody has a question and you don't know the answer, you can look it up. I always love to have the Lifelong Vitality Pack with me because, this is our signature, one of our signature and flagship products, and I've been on this for several years, and it's doTERRA's #1 selling product. So you can actually take each bottle out and briefly talk about it. But I like to seed this through the whole presentation because it is such a consumable product, something that people want to get on the loyalty rewards for. Speaking of seeding, make sure that if doTERRA is offering a promotion, that you actually talk about that product through your whole presentation. Again, whether it's a one-on-one, a class, or something virtual. So you'll also notice in your guide that there's some really fun tips for teaching, and I'm not going to go into all of them, but I will tell you my tip that's actually not on there. We are using oils, right? We're in an oil business. So there's actually a few oils that make teaching flow more powerfully through these chemical messengers. One is spearmint. So I actually like to take spearmint internally or put it in my water right before a class. I'll also maybe just rub it along my throat area. It's great oil. And lavender is awesome. It's actually emotionally, it's the oil of communication, believe it or not. So I actually like to take lavender touch and just roll it along my throat area, sometimes on the back of my neck. But peppermint is awesome for stimulating, and it's awesome for reducing tension. So I will sometimes just rub it on my temples or on the back of my neck, and it cools me off when I'm in that sweating zone and stressed out zone. So that's just my tip there for teaching. Now, when you're looking at really effectively interacting with people you don't want to create a me versus you kind of scenario. You want to keep it as real as you can. They aren't necessarily just there to get knowledge from oils. They're there to get to know you. And actually, people buy people, not products. So they're actually kind of buying you and your story. And really, it's your experience that lands you onto the stage. It's not your expertise. You probably know more about oils, obviously, than 99% of the people who are going to show up into your space. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is that you need to stay what we call compliant. I know this is not news to most of you. I remember when the new compliance rules came out, I felt a little bit limited, almost silenced. But I have to tell you, as I've kind of worked with that and worked through it, My classes are a lot more positive sounding. I'm not making disease claims. I'm not going into the depths of all the drama and what have you. I'm really staying with positive language, and it's made a huge difference in the overall feel and tone of my class. So don't let that limit you. Don't let it freak you out. Don't let it scare you. There's even a quick claims guide that you can find online. It will totally alleviate any stressors that you may be experiencing in terms of how to share your story in a way that's empowering and not necessarily disease claimed. So also, the nice thing about events driving your business, and the reason we say events drive your business, is once you feel like you've exhausted your quote-unquote warm market or all your family and friends, you actually haven't. That's a fallacy. The way that you continue to grow and expand is to book classes from classes. So there's a really great visual of this that I can't even explain any better other than to just show you in your guide. And it shows you that you can have one class, and from that class, maybe you can book 3 more classes. And from those 3 classes, you can book 3 or 1 or 2. So technically, from one class, you can have about 10 new classes. And a lot of that is done through your own follow-up. So make sure that you're verbal about that when you're having class. Just say, you know what? I teach classes a lot. I know that many of you have been thinking of people that could be here, that should be here, that would love this information. I actually have my calendar with me right here, and I have 4 dates circled in my planner. I want you to look at those 4 dates and see what works best for you in the upcoming weeks, and let's get you down for a class. And you may even want to offer something like a free lemon or a free wild orange if they book that night and have them with you. You also want to make sure that as you're talking about the hostess who's there, maybe the hostess who has introduced you, always edify them and always show your gratitude to them. Always start with an intention. And I think the best way to do that is to write it down. So for instance, you could have a little note card handy right before your class and just read it a little bit. For instance, I've written here, I intend to enroll 3 people. That is my intention. Or you could say, I intend to come from my heart tonight. Or I intend to look people in the eye. Or I intend to make a really powerful personal connection with at least one person who's struggling with a health issue. And that's really all I have to say to you. This is supposed to be profitable. You don't want to have that like game face agenda of I need your money. You need to come from your authentic message, purpose-driven, heart and center of your soul place. And that will shine through. People will not be feeling like they're being sold to. They will feel the essence of you and your authenticity and your message. I'm so excited for you to hit the Rank of Premier. It's totally doable. Make it your own and throw your heart into it.